King Fong managed to get his hands on something incredible, the Jade Tier Aberrant Witch's Ring. This piece of equipment could be worn by any class starting from level 14. It boosted all attributes by 22 points, reduced skill cooldowns by 30%, and came with a special ability that increased the range of area skills by 25% and boosted their damage by 10%. But the rewards didn't stop there. He also obtained the Platinum-grade Virulent Poison Trap, a powerful skill for assassins and hunters. With it, he could set a trap hidden by level 5 stealth. Anyone unlucky enough to trigger it would take 500 bonus poison damage, get slowed by 50% for 5 seconds, and continue to suffer poison damage equal to 100% of his attack power. He could place up to 3 traps, each lasting an hour and recharging in just 4.65 seconds. King Fong was more than pleased 2 assassin-friendly items had dropped at once. The ring especially impressed him, since both his Shadow Slash and Dark Knight Ringblade were AI skills, making the bonus a perfect fit. Excitement lit up his eyes as he checked his 363 evolution points, exactly what he needed to push his backstab enhancement skill to the next tier. Spending 340 points, he upgraded it from epic to legendary, leaving himself with only 23 points. The skill's passive bonus now gave 100% extra damage from behind, instead of 75%. Even more terrifying, the legendary perk ensured that while hidden, every single attack counted as a backstab. With his permanent stealth and the boosted damage, his survivability and killing power soared to an entirely new level. Just then, Big Black Plum reached out to him. She had discovered another set of ruins and asked if he wanted to investigate. When he inquired about her location, she explained she was at the Zhanghai City ruins, where the temple entrance was decorated with murals similar to those found back in the beginner's village ruins. Shadow raised an eyebrow. With their current progress, they should already be capable of handling a platinum-grade boss, so why hadn't they explored further? Big Black Plum admitted they tried. But after clearing out the enemies, a teleportation orb appeared. When they touched it, nothing happened. A message revealed that only a fated one could enter. She suspected he might be that chosen person. Intrigued, King Fong told her to wait and prepared to bring her some of his newly acquired gear. Thanks to the teleportation network linking the shrines, traveling between the Magic City ruins and the Zhanghai ruins was now much simpler. Little Black also mentioned that officials at Zhanghai lacked enough lifespan, so he could sell directly to those in Magic City for greater profit. At that moment, she was outside the ruins, riding a white llama grazing peacefully nearby. King Fong appeared suddenly behind her, asking about the ruins' location. Both she and the llama jumped in fright. Flustered, she scolded him for sneaking up like that. He had done it intentionally but lied, promising to behave next time. Peering over a cliff edge, Big Black Plum pointed down to where the ruins' entrance lay. Curious, King Fong asked how she discovered it. She explained that while playing with her newly obtained sheep mount, a silver-gray boss appeared out of nowhere. Startled, she panicked, slipped, and fell, but was lucky enough to get caught by a tree halfway down. That's when she spotted the hidden cave. Cautiously, she led him down the cliffside, warning him not to slip. She recalled that after respawning, she brought Captain Anne and Uncle Wang Meng to explore together. King Fong jumped down with ease, joking that it was just like her to stumble upon such places. Big Black Plum praised his skill, adding that Wang Meng had attempted the same leap but failed and died instantly. Inside the cave, she explained that there had once been a monster-filled labyrinth, but her group had already cleared it. King Fong reminded her not to die so recklessly in the future. Losing her non-tradable lifespan could be dangerous. Smiling confidently, she assured him she understood and revealed they had a way to replenish lifespan. She explained that monsters within the city ruins absorbed non-tradable lifespan. By luring them to a secluded spot, they could defeat them and harvest the dropped energy, storing it for when they needed it later. King Fong was impressed. Correctly guessing that this clever strategy came from a new Big Black Plum was shocked he knew. But in truth, King Fong remembered that in his previous life, this very method had been created by an Yu, and eventually everyone followed it. Soon after, they reached the teleportation orb. Big Black Plum placed her hand on it, but the system told her she wasn't the fated one. She asked King Fong to try. The moment he touched the orb, it flared with light, releasing a surge of energy. Big Black Plum shielded her eyes, confused, only to realize he had vanished. Both he and the orb were gone. She finally had her answer. He truly was the fated person. King Fong, meanwhile, reappeared in the cave of the ice tide, cut off from all communication. He immediately activated stealth. The system issued him a new quest: protect the ice tide crystal. He recognized the crystal at once. If struck, it would unleash an icy tide. Waves of monsters would soon pour from the caves, determined to destroy it. If he failed, not only would he die, but the quest would be lost forever. Without hesitation, he upgraded his virulent poison trap, spending his remaining evolution points. It evolved from Platinum to Epic, raising its stealth level from 5 to 8, its poison damage to 1200 bonus, and its slow duration to 8 seconds. He could now set up to 9 traps instead of 3. Placing traps at the cave entrances, the system confirmed the aberrant witch's ring effect was active, boosting the skill's range by 25%. Now, nothing could pass without being caught. Right on cue, monsters appeared, their glowing eyes locked onto him. The moment they charged, the traps triggered. Thorny vines exploded upward, dealing over 100,000 damage and restraining the horde. King Fong stayed calm, but when an arrow flew straight at him, his eyes narrowed. At the last second, he blocked with a summoned shield. Among the enemies was a bow-wielding creature. Ranged attackers had joined the fray. Meanwhile, outside the Magic City ruins, Dongfeng Yi confronted an orange-haired man, furious that his guild had abandoned the plan to hunt ghost spirit Guiling. Now that Guiling had joined Shadow Guild, the man admitted they didn't dare continue. Dongfeng Yi seethed, insulting him and threatening his life in the real world. Enraged, he struck her across the face, then mercilessly beat her until she died, leaving only glowing lifespan orbs. She respawned in reality at the Chu family residence, gripping her golden phone with rage. Furious that the peasants of Shura Palace had killed her, she demanded her husband retaliate. Though confused at first, he explained their focus should be eliminating Shadow first, and he had already enlisted the Black Dragon Hall to carry out the task. Her fury only grew. She vowed vengeance against both Shadow and Shura Palace. Back inside the cave, King Fong swiftly killed the ranged monster with a blade to the eye. Thanks to his Shadow Blade reset, every weak point strike let him chain kills endlessly. Just as the crystal was about to collapse, the system declared the mission complete. A golden epic chest appeared before him. Opening it, he was astonished as a familiar NPC woman emerged, speaking the ancient tongue of the old gods. Though he couldn't understand the words, their meaning flowed clearly into his mind. He had passed 2 trials and was chosen as the heir of judgment. Her body transformed, a third eye opening as divine power radiated outward. She introduced herself as Assasin, declaring she would follow him and witness his rise as the true god of judgment. She gifted him the Assasin's summoning bell, which could summon her at levels 25, 35, and 50, each time unlocking special ruins. If he cleared them all, she could permanently reside in his hideout to upgrade his skills. Clutching the bell, King Feng's eyes gleamed with excitement. He realized the last temple had been level 5, while this one was level 15, and both had been stumbled upon by Dallasy, whose luck was extraordinary. Assasin told him to choose a skill, offering 1 free upgrade to his current level. He grew serious. Skill power depended on quality and level requirement. While quality could be forcibly improved through infinite evolution, the level requirement directly tied to a skill's potential. And now he had the chance to decide. When it came to stats, a level 5 Shadow Lurk was nothing compared to its level 51 version. The difference was like night and day. Obtaining skills that were both high quality and high level was normally near impossible, but for King Fong, that limitation was gone. From now on, he could pour lifespan into any skill and instantly raise its level. With confidence gleaming in his eyes, he picked his strongest ability, Graceful Release, to be upgraded. Assasin gently kissed his hand, sealing the upgrade. Immediately, the Mythic tier Graceful Release jumped from level 10 to level 16. The improvements were massive. The weak point attack correction increased from plus 300% to plus 410%, and damage multipliers on weak points were doubled. Its active ability gained a terrifying new effect, a throat slit, dealing 310% of the attack's damage per second over 3 seconds, with just a 6.97-second cooldown. Her mission complete, Assasin faded away, promising she looked forward to meeting him again. A blue portal materialized ahead, the exit from the trial. Before leaving, King Fong noticed something still resting in the chest. He reached in and pulled out an epic tier assassin leg armor set, Bafish's equivalent exchange agreement. It required level 15 and granted 198 physical defense, all elemental resistances, 19.8% damage reduction, and 19.8% whispering resistance. But what caught his attention most was its unique skill, the art of equivalent exchange. By sacrificing any epic or lower equipment or skill book, he could receive a random item of the same grade tailored for the assassin class, usable once every hour. His mind raced. He still had plenty of Jade grade skill books and equipment in storage. Now he could recycle them into powerful assassin gear. The possibilities made his eyes sparkle. Satisfied with his haul, he decided it was time to return. The loot had been extraordinary, and he owed Big Black Plum a big thanks. Waiting outside on her llama, Big Black Plum hadn't left to grind or level up. She had stayed on guard, protecting the entrance in case someone tried an ambush. When King Fong emerged, she sighed in relief. To reward her loyalty, he handed her a platinum-grade magic shield skill book, perfect for her. She was stunned. It was a level 13 defensive spell that would drastically boost her survival. She thanked him gratefully before riding off on her llama. As for King Feng, he let his body fade away, logging out to grab some food in the real world. Meanwhile, inside the Zhanghai city ruins, the Knights Templar Guild was celebrating. They had finally secured their own silver-grade guild sanctuary. The guild master proudly declared it a historic day, their very first home base. It wasn't large, but it was a huge step forward. No longer would they fear sudden boss attacks while resting. Now they had a safe haven. He credited one person for this success, Xiao Yu, the one who discovered the site. Inviting her to the stage, he encouraged everyone to applaud. The guild cheered her name, making her flush with happiness. On the platform, Xiao Yu gave a heartfelt speech. She thanked her master for guiding her, her friends for their support, and even her enemies for their mockery had fueled her determination to grow stronger. Tears filled her eyes as she thanked her late parents, wishing they could see the person she had become. The guild master cut her off gently, asking her to share the story of how she discovered the hideout. She explained that it had come to her in a dream, where a mighty warrior guided her to this very place. Though it sounded silly, she followed the vision and, to her shock, it had led her straight here. The guild burst into laughter, mocking the absurdity of it all. Trying not to laugh himself, the leader played along, asking if she had dreamt of anything else. Xiao Yu, serious as ever, admitted that she had indeed dreamt of another place, a platinum-grade hideout, grand and magnificent. The guild laughed even harder, but the leader chose to humor her. With a smile, he rewarded her with 1 year of tradable lifespan, praising her dedication. Wrapping an arm around her shoulder, he told the guild that if they worked together with the same spirit, the Knights Templar would continue to grow stronger. After dismissing the gathering, he tasked Xiao Yu with continuing her search for new hideouts. Beaming with pride, she nodded eagerly. Hours later, staff in hand, Xiao Yu returned to the ruins, Following the faint feeling from her dream, worry filled her eyes as she searched, convinced the platinum-grade hideout was near. Guild members secretly trailed her, suspicious of her actions. When she entered a strange tunnel, the others crept after her. The place looked like the dream, but darker, more twisted. Xiaoyu sensed she was being followed, but reminded herself she was a life priest, a hidden class with strong abilities. She reassured herself that she was safe. But then, horror struck. A monster appeared, its mouth lined with eyes. Before she could react, it knocked her down and rushed toward the women from her guild who had been following. Panic erupted as the monster attacked. Wrapping its tentacles around one of them, it drained her lifespan, killing her instantly. The survivors screamed and fled in terror, realizing the monster could suck the life out of them completely. Xiaoyu, horrified, ran as well. Stumbling through a spiral staircase, she fell hard but found herself before a door, the very same one from her dream. This was it, the platinum hideout entrance. Excited, she messaged the guild master, who quickly ordered her to stay put while he and the others hurried over. But as she waited, the monstrous creature returned, its eyes gleaming with malice. Fighting back her fear, Xiaoyu steadied herself. She was no longer the weak girl she used to be. She was a life priest, and she could handle this. With determination, she cast venomous vines, wrapping the monster and draining its HP. Thrilled at the successful hit, she unleashed corrupting poison mist, filling the chamber with toxic fumes. But terror gripped her heart when she realized the poison filled the enclosed space, affecting her as well. Struggling to breathe, she cast an antidote spell, clearing the mist but also canceling its damage to the monster. The creature's grin widened. Xiaoyu gasped, inhaled the lingering poison, and collapsed. Her body dissolved into lifespan. The system broadcast, player Xiaoyu Ya has committed suicide. She respawned at the guild's hideout, where the leader questioned her. She explained that she'd taken her own life to avoid being drained. Shocked, the leader praised her ingenuity, calling her a genius. Her lips curled into a sly smile. The other women who mocked her, dead for good. This was the fate of anyone who crossed Qin Xiaoyu. Later, at the Platinum Hideout's gate, she showed the guild master the entrance. He praised her once more and promised a rich reward once they secured it. Ordering his men to attack, they discovered that the guardian of the hideout was the stone door itself. Each strike chipped away at its HP, confirming their suspicions. As they attacked, system alerts flashed for King Fong. His hideout, the land of purified souls, was under siege. Teleportation was blocked, but a war teleport option appeared, his only chance to intervene. Mounting his wolf, King Feng sped toward the hideout. He calculated that with their current power, it would take ages to break through, but he wanted to see for himself. Arriving at the outskirts, he spotted a scene unfolding. 3 Knights Templar members tormenting a young woman, blocking her escape. One smashed her with a mace, while another pinned her with glowing chains. They accused her of trespassing on their guild's territory, though she insisted she was only passing by. King Feng's eyes narrowed. He recognized her. It was Yang Xiaoya, a kind colleague from his company. Realization struck. If the Knights Templar were here, they were the ones attacking his hideout. The purple-haired man claimed her life as his prize, preparing to assault her. But before they could act further, a blur of motion cut through the air. In an instant, the 3 men's heads rolled to the ground. It was King Fong. His eyes glowed fiercely as he locked them on Yang Xiaoya, who stared back in disbelief. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "Shadow." No, those eyes weren't shadows. They were unmistakably his King Feng's.